Claire Bennett left the office at 6:12 p.m., the same time she left most nights. She was the kind of CEO people feared and admired at the same time. She did not raise her voice. She did not smile much. She did not share personal stories. She won deals, cut costs, and kept her company sharp. Outside the building, the city air felt colder than the lights made it look. Claire walked with quick steps, already thinking about the next morning's meeting. Then she saw him again. He stood near the corner of the sidewalk, not close enough to look like he was waiting for her, but close enough to be noticed. He wore a dark jacket and carried a worn backpack. He looked tired in a way that sleep could not fix. His eyes kept checking the street as if he could not afford to be late. Claire had seen him 3 times this week. Each time he left work a little after she did. Each time he turned toward the same side street instead of heading to the train like most people. He did not look up at the tall buildings. He did not hold a phone in front of his face. He moved like someone with a purpose and a clock running in his chest. Claire told herself it meant nothing. People worked near her building. People walked home. People had normal lives. Still, her eyes followed him. A small girl came running from the entrance of a nearby after-school center. She wore a bright yellow coat and carried a small bag that bounced against her hip. She ran fast, her face wide open with joy. The man bent down at the last second and caught her without effort, like he had done it 1,000 times. "Dad," the girl said, loud and clear. He laughed, and the sound surprised Claire. It was not loud, not fake, and not meant for anyone else. The man hugged the girl tightly, then checked her bag and fixed the strap on her shoulder. Claire watched from across the street. She did not know why she was watching. The scene was simple. It should not have held her attention. Yet something in her chest tightened, sharp and quick, like a door that had been shut for years, had moved an inch. The man held the girl's hand and started walking. Claire should have turned toward her car. Her driver was waiting. A black sedan sat at the curb like a promise of control. Claire did not move. Instead, she crossed the street, keeping a safe distance. She stayed behind 2 office workers, then slowed down when they turned away. She told herself she was only walking. She told herself she needed fresh air. Still, she matched their pace. The man spoke softly to the girl. Claire could not hear the words, but she saw the way the girl looked up at him. It was trust, without fear. Claire had seen trust in business meetings, but it always had a price. This was different. They stopped at a small store. The man bought 1 apple and a carton of milk. He counted bills before he handed them over, did not check his phone. He did not look annoyed. He only looked focused, like every dollar mattered. But the girl mattered more. When they left the store, the girl swung their joined hands, almost skipping. The man kept his grip steady so she would not trip. Claire kept following, her heels tapping in a rhythm that sounded too loud to her. They reached a quiet building with old brick walls. The man unlocked the front door and held it open for the girl. She disappeared inside. He stayed in the hallway for a moment, as if listening to her steps. Then he came back out alone. Claire stopped behind a parked car. She felt heat rise in her face. What was she doing? She was the CEO of a company with thousands of employees. She was not someone who followed strangers. The man walked down the street again, this time faster. He headed toward the park at the end of the block. The park was small and almost empty. A few lights blinked above a path lined with bare trees. The man slowed down near a stone plaque set into the ground. He knelt and brushed his fingers over the plaque like it was fragile. His shoulders lowered. For a few seconds, he did not move. Claire stood still at the edge of the path, hidden by darkness and distance. A name was carved into the stone. Claire could not read it from where she stood, but she saw the man's mouth form words with no sound. A private moment, not meant for anyone. Claire felt a strange pull, like she had been brought to that place without choosing it. She did not understand it, and that made her uneasy. The man stood up, took 1 slow breath, and walked away. Claire stayed where she was, staring at the stone plaque until the cold reached her bones. When she finally turned back toward her car, she already knew she would notice him again tomorrow. She crashed into him like a small storm. Ethan lifted her off the ground and spun her once. Lily laughed so hard that people turned to look. Claire did not smile, but something in her face softened. She stepped forward without thinking, then stopped. She was still across the street. She watched Ethan take Lily's hand and start walking. As they reached the corner, a delivery bike rushed past too close. Lily jumped back. Ethan pulled her in fast and held her shoulder. "Stay close," he said, clear and firm. Lily nodded. Then she looked past him and saw Claire standing there. Lily's eyes widened with interest, the way children look at something new. "Dad," Lily said, pointing. "That lady is always there." Ethan turned. His gaze met Claire's, direct and sharp. Claire felt caught, like a light had been turned on above her head. She could have walked away. She could have acted like she was waiting for a ride. Instead, she crossed the street, Claire said. Her voice sounded normal, but she could feel her heartbeat. "I work nearby. I have seen you a few times." Ethan did not smile. "We work nearby too," he said. His tone was polite but closed. Lily leaned forward, studying Claire's coat and heels. "Wait, are you a boss?" Lily asked. Ethan's face tightened. "Lily, do not ask strangers that." Claire looked at the girl. "Yes," she said. "I am a boss at my job." Lily seemed satisfied. "My dad is a boss too," she said. Ethan let out a short breath like he was trying not to laugh. "No, kiddo, I am not." Lily pointed at Ethan's backpack. "He carries his boss stuff," she said. Claire understood at once. Ethan had 2 jobs, maybe more. The backpack was not a style choice. It was a tool, like a lunchbox for a long day. A car horn sounded nearby. People flowed around them. Claire felt the moment slipping away, and she did not want it to end. "It is cold," Claire said. "There is a deli on the next block. I was going to get coffee. Would you like something for her at least?" Ethan watched her for a second. His eyes were careful, like he was measuring risk. "That is kind," he said, "but we are fine." Lily tugged his hand. "Can I get hot chocolate?" she asked. Ethan looked down at her, then back at Claire. Claire did not push. She waited. "Okay," Ethan said, low and serious, "but I pay." Inside the deli, the air smelled of bread and fried onions. The cashier greeted Claire by name, Ethan noticed, and his jaw tightened a little. Claire ordered a black coffee. Ethan ordered hot chocolate for Lily and a small tea for himself. When he reached for his wallet, Claire saw his hands. His knuckles were rough, like he worked with them. Lily took the cup with both hands. "Thank you," she told the cashier. Then she looked at Claire. "Do you have kids?" Lily asked. Ethan's eyes widened. "Lily?" Claire stayed calm. "No," she said. "I do not." Lily sipped her drink. "You should," she said, simple and sure. Ethan gave Claire a quick look that held apology and warning at the same time. "She talks to everyone," he said. "I noticed," Claire answered. They stood near a small table by the window. Claire did not sit. She did not want to act too comfortable. Ethan kept his body turned slightly toward Lily, like a shield. "What is your name?" Lily asked. "Claire," Claire said. "I am Lily," Lily said, tapping her chest. "My dad is Ethan." Claire nodded. "Nice to meet you." Ethan watched Claire again. "So," he said, voice steady. "Claire, why are you really here?" The question was quiet, but it hit hard. Claire opened her mouth, then closed it. She could not say she followed them. She could not explain the pull she felt at the park, or the way his grief looked familiar. Ethan did not accept it fully, but he did not argue. Lily finished half her cup and smiled up at Claire with chocolate on her lip. Outside, the streetlights turned on one by one. Claire felt something shift inside her, small but real. She walked out with them, even though she knew she should not. Ethan held Lily's hand tight, and Claire kept pace beside them, trying to act like this was normal, trying to act like her life had not just started to bend in a new direction. Claire Bennett tried to return to normal after that night. but normal did not fit anymore. The next morning, she sat in a board meeting and heard numbers and plans. Yet her mind kept drifting to a small girl with a yellow coat and a man who asked one hard question. After work, Claire did not wait by the corner. She told herself she would not. Still, her feet took her there. She stayed across the street, pretending to check emails on her phone. Grief was private. She was not invited into it, yet she could not look away. When Ethan stood, he turned slightly, as if he had felt her presence. Claire stepped back fast. Her heel caught on the edge of a cracked path. She did not fall, but the sound was loud enough. Ethan's head snapped toward her. Claire froze. He walked toward her with calm steps, not rushed, not angry. When he reached her, his face was tight. "You are following us," Ethan said. Claire kept her chin up. "I did not mean to scare you," she said. "That does not answer it," Ethan said. "Why?" Claire's throat went dry. She could not lie well when someone looked at her like that. "I saw you here," she said. "I saw the plaque. I thought you might need help." Ethan looked away for a second, then back. "Help," he repeated, flat. Claire heard how it sounded, like she was above him. She hated that. "That is not what I meant," she said. "I am sorry." Ethan's shoulders lowered a little, but his eyes stayed sharp. "My daughter is my job," he said. "I do not let strangers circle our life." Claire nodded once. "I understand." Lily's voice came from behind him. "Dad, is she in trouble?" Lily asked. Ethan turned to her, and his tone changed at once. "No, sweetie," he said. "Go sit on the bench for a minute." Ethan faced Claire again. "Tell me the truth," he said. "Do you know us?" Claire felt the question hit deeper than he knew. She did not know them, but something about them felt close, like a memory she could not reach. "I do not know you," Claire said. "Not in the way you mean." "If you want to talk like a normal person, fine, but no more walking behind us." Claire's pride flared, but she pushed it down. "Okay," she said. "No more following." Grace Brooks. Claire stared. Her stomach turned. She did not know why that name struck her like a punch, but it did. That night, Claire sat alone in her penthouse and pulled up old company records on her laptop. She searched the name Grace Brooks. At first, nothing came up. Then one file appeared, half hidden under an old system tag. Grace Morgan applicant. Claire clicked. The file was thin, a resume, a cover letter, notes from an interview panel, then a final line in the system, offer canceled due to review. Claire leaned closer. Grace Brooks. The last name could have changed after marriage. Claire looked at the date. It was 6 years ago, before Claire became CEO. Still, it was her company. Claire printed the file and read the cover letter twice. The writing was plain but strong. It spoke about fairness, about doing work that mattered. The words made Claire feel watched. The next morning, Claire went to a small office in the legal wing of her building. Nathan Cross looked up from his desk with a smooth smile. He was the company's chief counsel, calm in every storm. He had been in the company longer than Claire. "Claire," Nathan said, "what can I do for you?" Claire placed the printed page on his desk. "Do you remember this?" she asked. Later that day, Claire passed a group of employees in the hallway. She heard her name in a whisper. She heard the word strange. She did not stop. She kept walking, but her mind raced. It had meant a promise she could not remember fully. Ethan watched Claire's face. "You look like you saw a ghost," he said. She felt it tightening, pulling her toward a truth she had not asked for, a truth that was already inside her life. Claire Bennett did not sleep much. Her mind kept replaying the name on the park plaque and the red bracelet on Lily's wrist. In the morning, she went back to the company records. She did not use her assistant. She did not tell anyone. She worked alone in her private office with the door locked. She searched for Grace Morgan again, but this time she searched for who touched the file. The system showed old access logs. Many lines were missing, like someone had cleaned them. That was not normal. Claire's stomach tightened. She printed what she could and drove to a small storage room on the lower floor, where old paper files were kept. Most executives never went there. Claire had never gone there before. The room smelled like dust and toner. A security guard started to ask questions, but Claire flashed her badge and kept walking. After an hour, she found a box labeled Recruitment 6 years ago. Inside was a folder with Grace Morgan's name. The folder was thinner than it should be. Pages had been removed. One paper remained, folded and pushed into the back. It was a copy of a complaint email. The email was written by Grace Morgan. It listed a set of numbers, a project code, and a short message. "I think the billing is being changed after approval. I think someone is stealing. I can show proof." Claire read it twice. Her hands went cold. The project code looked familiar. It was tied to a deal that had helped push Claire into the top ranks. A deal people praised as clean and smart. Claire stood there with the paper shaking in her fingers. She understood one thing. Grace had seen something dangerous. Back upstairs, Claire called Nathan Cross to her office. Nathan arrived calm, as always. He shut the door behind him and sat without being asked. "You look serious?" Nathan said. "Is this about that old file again?" Claire placed the email copy on the desk between them. "Tell me why this was hidden," she said. Nathan looked at the paper. His face did not change much, but his eyes did. The warmth left them. "That does not belong in your hands," Nathan said. "It belongs in the truth," Claire answered. "Did Grace Morgan work for us?" she applied, Nathan said. "She did not pass the process." "She sent this," Claire said. "Then her offer was canceled. Then the records were cleaned. You were here. You were legal, you know." Nathan leaned back and laced his fingers. Claire stared at him. "Did you cancel her offer?" she asked. Nathan held her gaze. "I protected the company," he said. Claire's voice rose. "Answer the question." Nathan's tone stayed quiet. "Yes," he said. "I approved the cancellation." Claire felt anger rush up, hot and sharp. "Why?" she asked. "Because she was going to cause damage," Nathan said. "She was young and stubborn. She did not understand how things work. She said someone was stealing," Claire said. "So was it you?" Nathan's mouth tightened. "This is not about me," he said. "This is about what you built. About what you kept safe." Claire leaned forward. "I did not build anything by stealing," she said. Nathan's eyes stayed steady. "You built it because people cleared the path," he said. "People like me. Do you think the board would have accepted you if a scandal hit at the wrong moment? Do you think your rise happened by luck?" Claire felt sick. She thought of all the times she had trusted Nathan. He had been in her corner when she fought for control of the company. He had helped her win votes. It handled problems before they reached her desk. "Where is the rest of her file?" Claire asked. Nathan stood. "Stop," he said, still calm. "You are the CEO. You have enemies. If you pull on old threads, you will bring down more than you think." Claire stood too. "Did Grace Brooks die because of this?" she asked. She watched his face closely. For the first time, Nathan hesitated. His jaw flexed. "That was an accident," he said. Claire's heart hammered. "How do you know it was an accident?" she asked. Nathan's eyes narrowed. "Because I read the reports," he said. "Because I watched the risk. Because I made sure nothing touched you." Claire stepped back as if the air had changed. "Nothing touched me," she repeated. "So I was the reason." Nathan's voice stayed even. "We're the future," he said. "I did what I had to do." Claire pointed at the door. "Get out," she said. Nathan left without raising his voice. Before he opened the door, he turned back. "Be careful," he said. "The world you live in does not forgive weakness." When he was gone, Claire sank into her chair. Her hands shook. She had built her life on control. Now, she saw a shadow under everything. That evening, she went to the deli, hoping to speak to Ethan. She found him outside instead, near the curb, holding Lily's hand. He looked tense. "I got a message from my landlord," Ethan said before Claire could speak. "Someone asked about us, about where we live, about Lily's school." Claire froze. "I did not do that," she said. Ethan's face hardened. "You dug into my wife," he said. "You asked about her, and now someone is asking about us." Claire stepped closer. "Ethan, I swear I did not send anyone," she said. "But I think my company did. Or someone inside it." Ethan's eyes flashed with anger and fear. "So this is what you bring," he said. "Trouble. People with power. My daughter is not safe in your world." Lily looked up at them, confused. "Dad," she said, small. "Are we moving again?" Ethan's grip tightened on her hand. "Not now," he said, but his voice cracked. Claire felt the words like a blade. She had stepped into their lives, and now danger had followed. Ethan turned away, pulling Lily with him. "Stay away from us," Ethan said over his shoulder. Claire stood on the sidewalk as they walked off. The city noise blurred. Her world did not just crack. It shifted under her feet, and she could not find solid ground anymore. Claire Bennett did not go back to the deli the next day. She did not try to call Ethan. She knew he would not answer, and she did not blame him. Instead, she went to the only place she could still use without asking permission, her own files. She spent hours pulling old emails, old meeting notes, old project reports tied to the code Grace had written in her complaint. The deeper she searched, the more gaps she found. Numbers were changed after approval. Names were replaced. Dates were edited. It was not one mistake. It was a system. By late afternoon, Claire had a folder thick enough to scare her. She sat in her office and stared at it. If she pushed forward, the company would fight back. Nathan Cross would fight back. He had people everywhere. Claire made one choice. She called the board chair, a man named Frank Dalton. She asked for an emergency meeting at 8 a.m. The next day, her voice stayed calm, but her hands were shaking when she hung up. That night, Claire drove alone to the park. The air was sharp. The path lights made long shadows. She walked to the stone plaque and knelt, just like Ethan did. The name looked colder in the dark. Grace Brooks. Claire spoke in a low voice, not sure who she was talking to. "I do not know you," she said, "but I think you tried to do the right thing, and I think you paid for it." A step sounded behind her. Claire turned fast, ready for anything. Ethan stood a few feet away, Lily beside him. Lily held a small stuffed rabbit under her arm. Ethan's face was tired, but his eyes were steady. "I told you to stay away," Ethan said. Claire rose slowly. "I know," she said. "I am not here to follow you. I am here because I think your wife was hurt by my company, maybe by people who used my name to cover it." Ethan did not move. "You do not get to say maybe," he replied. "You already pulled danger toward my kid." Claire nodded. "You are right," she said. "Someone asked about your home. That was not you being paranoid. That was real. I think Nathan Cross did it to scare you, or to scare me." Lily looked at the plaque, then at Claire. That is my mom, Lily said. Claire's throat tightened. I know, she said. Ethan's voice turned hard. Then tell me why you care, he said. You are rich. You can walk away. Claire swallowed. Because I found her complaint, she said. She wrote that someone was changing billing after approval. I checked. It is true. It connects to deals that helped me rise. Ethan's face changed. Not softer, but more focused. Grace told me she was scared, he said. Near the end, she kept saying someone was watching. I thought it was stress. Claire shook her head. I cannot prove murder, she said. Not yet, but I can prove the cover-up. I can prove the theft. No. I can force the truth into daylight. Ethan stared at her. And what do you want from me? He asked. Claire looked at Lily, then back at Ethan. I want you to keep her safe, Claire said. And I want you to give me one thing. Permission to use Grace's name in what I will say tomorrow. The board will try to bury it. They will call her a liar. I do not want to use her as a tool. I want to honor what she did. Ethan's jaw worked as if he was chewing on anger. Then he looked down at Lily. Lily hugged her rabbit and said, Mom wanted people to be honest. Ethan's eyes closed for a second. When he opened them, there was pain and decision together. You can use her name, he said, but if this hurts Lily, I will not forgive you. Claire nodded. I understand, she said. The next morning, Claire walked into the boardroom with no assistant and no smile. The board members looked surprised. Nathan Cross sat at the far end, calm as stone. Claire placed her folder on the table. I am here to report fraud, she said. It has been running for years. It touches old projects and recent ones. It was hidden through legal moves. Frank Dalton frowned. This is a serious claim, he said. Claire looked straight at Nathan. It is also tied to a whistleblower who was pushed out, she said. Her name was Grace Brooks. Nathan's eyes flashed. Claire, he said, warning in his voice. Claire did not stop. She slid copies across the table. These are the altered approvals, she said. These are missing logs. These are payments that do not match contracts. This is not a mistake. This is design. The room filled with sharp breathing and fast page turning. One board member stood. Another asked for legal counsel. Nathan began to speak, but Claire cut him off. I am resigning today, Claire said. Effective now. I will also report this to the proper agencies. If any of you try to stop it, I will release every document I have. Silence hit the room. Nathan stared at her like he was seeing a stranger. Claire walked out without waiting for a vote. In the hallway, her phone buzzed with calls, but she did not answer. That evening, Claire went back to the park. Ethan and Lily were there. Ethan did not smile, but he stood beside her at the plaque. Lily placed her small hand on the stone. Claire spoke out loud, clear and steady. Grace, she said, I will not let them erase you. Ethan's hand found Claire's, not gentle, not romantic, but real. A simple grip, like a promise made under pressure. Claire looked at Lily and understood something she had never understood in her old life. Power meant nothing if it was used to hide the truth. The world that once felt solid had shattered, but in its place, a new life could be built, one honest step at a time.